importance of spirituality in law enforcement. The human life needs physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual balance so that when life's stresses land in our life, as they always do, we can handle them efficiently, effectively. Stress can feel really heavy. Law enforcement as a profession is extremely stressful. Officers can experience stress from all sorts of sources, responding to calls for service, leadership within the department, society's expectations, spouses and family members, then financial problems, and also tensions from within oneself. As officers tend to hold their actions and behavior to very high standards. Operational policing is demanding and threatening, repeatedly dealing with death, serious injury, horrific crime scenes, the need to be constantly alert, whether on or off duty, and being ostracized by the communities in spite of their hard work and sacrifice are only some examples of what police officers encounter in their day-to-day life. When all others are enjoying festivities like Deepavali or Holi or Christmas with their families, all policemen will be on the roads ensuring peace and harmony so that they enjoy their own festivities. All these and crises of all types take their toll on police officers, on their health, fitness, and well-being, and on their view of people and the world. The toll also extends to their families and all those who are served by these officers. While this toll is recognized, there are still high levels of sickness, absence, ill health, as well as suicides. These are clear illustrations of the challenging nature of policing, as we all know. If you look at the deeper issues of these challenges, nature of policing and its struggle for good, not being recognized as whole by the people, not being treated as valuable parts of your community, the reality of facing death and the destructiveness on a daily basis, we see that at a fundamental level, these have a spiritual component to them. This is an important but often unrecognized aspect of policing. Police forces all over the world emphasize on the physical and mental well-being of officers, but neglect their spiritual well-being. Officers often feel they are under constant stress, and their weight can accumulate over time. High levels of stress can also come from a single event, whether it's reporting in a car accident where multiple people get killed, or being involved in a use of force incident like riots, communal riots, or political clashes. Unfortunately, many officers take the stress, their own experience from their job back to their home also, which can cause even more turmoil within the family, and again they suffer. Quite often, officers crash when their lives are out of balance over an extended period of time. Whether it is the emotional or social or mental sides of life that are weak, or if they are ignoring the spiritual aspect, out of balance lives create risk. Belief in faith, be it of any religion or otherwise, can help the average person to get through life's stresses. So it is even more important for police officers who experience much greater levels of stress than any of us in other walks of life. Part of the reason officers do not address the spiritual side of life can be attributed to their inconsistent and downright crazy work schedules Very often they are made to work even round the clock, though they are supposed to work for 8 hours or so. But very often they are not able to go home even for days together, as we have seen during this coronavirus pandemic. There are people who have not gone home for 7 days, 8 days, and all that. Many officers work night shifts, weekends, and are on call, attending to religious, spiritual functions, celebrations, or maintaining relationship at a house of worship or a place of worship. It's very difficult to manage. Another reason police officers often neglect the spiritual side of their life is that they have seen so many bad things, accidents, events in their life. Officers deal with the lowest of the low in society, and they are also seen horrific things, from gruesome crimes to tragic accidents, and even have to deal with the scum of the society. Some of them may be holding high positions, they may be very rich also. This can harden a person's outlook towards people and life in general. However, this is even more of a reason why police officers, need to find some element of spirituality in their lives. Spirituality helps people to gain perspective on their life's events and can help bring balance, perspective, and even gratitude for what they have. Finding spirituality also drives many people into a service task, such as participating in missions and local charities to help them give back and contribute in a different but often therapeutic way. Almost all the officers who share their frustrations with me, challenges and pain with me, are able to find some sort of a solace when they focus on their spiritual life. Stress is a killer. It destroys lives and can cause incredible damage to any person's well-being. It is much more so in the life of a police officer. They need to find ways to cope with and address their stress so it does not eat them from inside out. Spirituality helps people think through what is right and what is important in life so that stress does not make them lose their balance and equanimity in their day-to-day life and in the performance of their duties. Stress can be lessened when one understands his or her purpose in life by spiritual practices like yoga, which includes not only hatha yoga, yogic physical exercises, but also mindful breath meditative practices like the simple Anapanasati meditation being propagated by the PSSM movement and Brahmarshi Patriji. My own challenges in my official life I narrate before I conclude. Well, throughout many crises we have faced, communal riots and political clashes, large-scale, several lakhs of people gathering on either genuine or imagined grievances and all that. Very often we have to go into the middle of them, talk to them, see them, see reason. Very often without using force. It has happened very often. Very rarely we have to use force but then for that you need a lot of courage to go into the middle of the 10,000 people, 20,000 people when they're angry alone. It has happened. But one thing I would like to narrate is during my investigation of Rajiv Gandhi assassination, which everybody knows. It was a challenge which nobody wanted to accept in Delhi. I accepted it as call of duty, which was considered as an impossible task. I said nothing is impossible. Because of my firm faith in spirituality and my own self, I said truth can also be found out. So I told them nothing is impossible. What is considered impossible takes longer time, enormous risk. So I told them, don't try to discourage me and all that. But there's a point of time defending it from the deadly terrorist groups and also from the manipulations of the various political factors, which we do it day to day. I had to stand like a rock. But beyond the point, nobody was with me. I had to gain strength within myself. Once I took a long journey to Kailas Mansarovar Yatra at a time when nothing was happening in the court after my charge sheet. The documents had to be translated. It took 2 months. So I took the journey to Kailas Mansarovar Yatra. And more than that, I underwent Vipassana meditation. 10 days of meditation in the Hyderabad center. And part of Vipassana meditation is Anapanasati. And at the end of the 10 days, because I was watched by the media, world media all the time, they came to interview me as I came out of the center. I said, this is amazing. Meditation is only way you can gain inner strength to face any type of pressure, threat, and all that. Then I wrote to my director, CBI, and the director general CRPF. I was holding both the positions at that time. Perhaps I was the only officer who held both positions, joint director in the CBI and different general of police in the CRPF. I wrote to them, police officers undergo a lot of stress and tension every day beyond their control, and they have to deal with all that stress and gain equanimity and deal with situations very calmly without getting excited. For that, I said meditation is the only path. So we must put all the officers and men in both these organizations to the Vipassana meditation. But they said 10 days is too long, we can't spare the lakhs of people. Then I wrote to Guruji, Satyanarayana Goenji, who brought Vipassana back to India 50 years back from Burma. Then he said, when I learned meditation in Burma, it was 3 months. Then the master said, you take it back to India, because from where it came from Lord Buddha, after 2,500 years. He said, I came back, nobody was interested. So I had to go and knock at the doors of everybody like Patriji did when he started teaching Anapanasati meditation. Then he said, I could condense it to 10 days. It can't be condensed less than 10 days. But then Prabhuji Patriji was able to simplify it, democratize it, and able to teach the simplest form of meditation, Anapanasati meditation. We are seeing the impact of this meditation on millions of people around. So I would only say that spirituality is the essence of everybody, and particularly so for police officers who have to deal with the scum of the society, the criminals of the society, risking their lives. 1,000 policemen get killed on duty every year. On duty every year, more than, I think, the sacrifices made even by army in the normal times. But then they will also lose their temper, they lose their health. So many people have died during this coronavirus, fighting. So many people have died by sacrificing their lives and all that. But under stress, sometimes overdo it. I am not defending the wrongdoers. Wrongdoers ought to be punished very severely because they bring disgrace to the force and to society. But to make people deal with the situation and stress in their life, family life, official life, spirituality is a must for everybody, particularly in any law enforcement officer's life, not only India, all over the world. So, thank you very much.
I'm very happy and feel honored that I'm able to participate in such a wonderful program of yours, where we are spreading the message of spirituality and meditation. And I think it was a great pleasure for me today to have had a session with Patriji and enjoyed the meditation, and I'm feeling relaxed and comfortable talking in this webinar. Now, law enforcement is a very tough job for anybody. As we open newspapers, as we open our television sets and look at the news, we find that there is violence, there are riots everywhere, there is negative news, people have killed so and so, things like that. So it's a negative thing, and to deal with negative things, it requires a lot of courage. It requires a different kind of personality. If you are very soft and emotional, it wouldn't be possible for you to deal with any negative situation like that. You can't deal with the right situation. You can't deal with crimes if you are a very emotional person. So you have to be physically tough. You have to be emotionally strong, and you have to know your work to be successful in your career, to be successful as a police officer, as a law enforcement person. The duty hours are very long for any police officer. And you are looked down upon by society because there are some people in the department who do break the law themselves. and set a bad example for others. So you are not always liked by
Importance
people.
of spirituality.
Be strict with
Nothing more can
your law enforcement work and duties. The duties are long and onerous, and you have to neglect your family. So there is a lot of stress which your body takes, your emotional well-being takes. So therefore, one has to be very careful in looking after not only physical but emotional and intellectual well-being of your personality. So, having talked about it, it is very important to be balanced, physically fit, emotionally balanced when you are doing your work. So, what I had done was maybe it was inner feeling in which prompted me to go into art of living in 2000. So, I started following Shri Ravi Shankar ji, and I have been doing my meditations regularly since 2000. That has perhaps helped me to retain my sanity throughout my career. I have been able to retain good health because I have been very regular. And then with regular meditations, I think when you follow this path of spirituality, which also comes to you through meditations, I feel your life becomes balanced. You are able to take care of your time because time, of course, is a very important factor in our life. You have to manage your time, you have to balance your time, you have to manage your time, family, and your commitments all at the same time. So, therefore, balancing all that is a tough task. Of course, you can do it if you have a cool mind, and that comes with stressful work schedule. All this is possible when you are into meditation. You have clarity in your mind. You are able to have good health. You have to have balance of mind, and then also it gives you emotional support, which is so very important for anybody to be humane, to remain grounded, to remain in touch with society, to remain sensitive. Here, I would like to share my experiences with the Crimes Against Women cell, which I was heading in Delhi Police. We started these helplines, and then we also started self-defense training programs. All these initiatives were possible because I was sensitive, because I felt that I had to do something for women in Delhi and provide some kind of support, some kind of system where they were comfortable talking to the police. Because going to the police is not very easy. People feel hesitant. Women especially feel hesitant in going to the police and asking for help. So therefore, these things all came to me because maybe I feel that it was important that I do some work for these women. And the other experience which I had was in the Tihar prisons, where I was able to do a lot of work for prisoners. In fact, my sensitivity level, because I think it was all because of meditations, and I give full credit to my friends and family who were really supportive of me. In fact, in the police, it is supposed to be not very good if you spend a lot of time in meditations, etc., because people feel you are going into a religious mold of system, social system. So therefore, one has to be very careful, and you have to balance whatever you are doing. So the hard experience was another experience which made me very sensitive. It gave me a lot of satisfaction, and uh, uh, in fact, the more I worked for prisoners reforms, the more I got motivated. I think it was all because of my background in meditations, which put me right into the reformative mood to do a lot of work for prisoners, and I think it gave me a lot of satisfaction. And then ultimately, I found when I have retired 4 years ago, I find that prisoners reforms, doing all that for 2 years, was the best part of my career of out of 38 years in the police. And I feel that working on women's issues was another satisfying thing for me. And then this prisoners reforms. And I think it is very important for all of us to understand the importance of meditations.
My dear masters and my dear friends, and this topic is very very good because if we achieve in the government to build the pyramids, to start up the meditation, to start up the group meditation, so it will be good for the whole of the humanity, because if the government will start these type of project specifically on the spiritual health, so we can achieve the total health. So in Ayurveda there is one shloka. In my college time we cram this shlok, like the sam dosha, sam agnishcha, sam dhatu mal kriya, prasann atme indriya manah swasth ityabhi dhyate. The first line is related with the physical health. And nowadays, even nowadays, most of the organizations and the society and the government, I see that the more focused on the even the physical health, something little bit the mental health, but not the spiritual health. In the last line, the prasann atme indriya manaha, the happiness of the soul, the happiness of the senses, the happiness of the mind, it is lost. Because nowadays, even we are missing that the spiritual health. So the Pyramid Spiritual Society movement is working specifically on the spiritual health, and this is the main root. This is the main backbone. Because if the spiritual health we achieve, then we can achieve the mental health, astral health, or the etheric health, or the physical health. So it is important to reach out that the spiritual health. So I now explain that because 20 years I am working in the Ayush department in Haryana government as a Ayurveda doctor and as the director Ayush, the senior most technical head of the state. So before PSSM, I was not aware about the importance of spiritual health. I was not aware about the meditation and the yoga, because I have studied during my graduation time, my post graduation time, when I was doing my Ayurveda degree, and after that the post graduation degree in yoga and meditation, in dietetics and in philosophy, and even in the MD when I was doing herbs practices. So, but I was not aware that the importance of the spiritual health, importance of the meditation. So after coming in PSSM, then I practice meditation, I practice group meditation, music meditation, and then I came to know that it is important to launch in the government officials or to launch through the government. So in 2014, we have started one project to build the pyramid, 60 by 60 pyramid. And our officials and even the officers, they took the initiative to start up, okay, to proceed the file to the government officials. And I think little bit it is difficult, but not, we can say that it is not too much difficult, because if we put the research papers on that, so it is not difficult to proceed that to build the pyramids or to launch the meditation and yoga practices through the government side. So we took the initiative in 2014, and we construct a pyramid 60 by 60 in our headquarters. and it was around the project, the finance was near about 1.5 crore. So it is, that moment was the happiest moment in my life, because now the every day in that pyramid, the yoga and meditation sessions in morning and evening are going on. So after that, the importance of, we came to know that the meditation, and then uh, we started building the pyramids in the civil hospitals also. So we built the pyramids, 20 by 20 pyramids, 30 by 30 pyramids in the civil hospitals, for under the preventive and prophylactic care unit. So because in there is an Ayush, there is one system that the Ayurveda and yoga and naturopathy. Under yoga and naturopathy, we can do a lot at the government side, because the yoga and naturopathy is the drugless therapy, drugless system. So it, we need nowadays, the with the zero budget or the zero finance, we can do a lot through the meditation. We can all the cure diseases. So it is important that if we take the initiatives, because nowadays the many doctors are working with me and working with the Ayush, they are doing a lot on the yoga practices, and slowly they are reaching now at the level of meditation and meditation practices. So we build uh, pyramids in the civil hospitals for the purpose of meditation, and after that at the private level we also build pyramids for the meditation in the institutions, in the gaushalas, and in some other private institutions, in the schools also. And at the central level, Ayush Ministry of India has also taken the initiatives in the last 5 years, because specifically on the yoga and the meditation practices. And they are also focusing on the Sattvic Ahar and the nature cure. So these are all the practices of healing through which we can have the total, we can sustain the uh, total health. So, and even the for boosting up the immunity and the total health, the specifically the spiritual health of each and every person. If I talk about the Haryana government nowadays is establishing and the constructing the yoga institutions, more than 1000 yoga institutions. They have completed their constructions to start up the yoga and meditation classes. And even we have placed at the Haryana government level the yoga specialists, yoga instructors, uh, yoga therapist also, because they are teaching the asanas, pranayam, meditation, and nature cure practices. So every day and every morning, now the many organizations are coming together with the government, and they are doing the Zoom sessions early morning, and they are teaching yoga and meditation. And I think I have participated in many times, because there is yoga, one yoga parishad. Now it is launched recently, just 6 7 months back, and total it is live sessions, and we are teaching the benefits of the yoga and meditation. Many persons now are getting together to reach out to sustain the total health. So now the under Ministry of Ayush, the research councils of all the systems are working with full attention. Now the Ayush Ministry at the government of India level, now they are doing a lot, because nowadays in the COVID-19 time and COVID-19 zones, we have provided the diet charts, we have provided the yoga protocols also, and even the kitchen herbs, we have provided the main details of the kitchen herbs, how they can use at the homes, and how they can save their families through the kitchen herbs. So nowadays the Ayush Ministry and in the Haryana government, they are doing a lot. And in 2011, when I met Patri sir, my whole life is changed, because before that I was normal officer, normal doctor. And after that I became that yes, the purpose of my life is to spread meditation, to spread like the pyramid powers. So now the my mission of life is to spread meditation for achieving the total health. And in the last, the Patri sir's lines, the spiritual health is the root and physical health is the fruit. And it is true because no doctor, no medicine. I believe in this. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Sri Patriji,
Namaskar, Baba.
esteemed Sri D.R. Karthikeyan sir, Vimala Mehra madam, and Sangeeta madam. And to say the thing, when I joined ITBP, it is a paramilitary force. Okay, once I joined it, then only I came to know what is this paramilitary actually is. And neither military nor police. And during the training time, we were given the training like a military commandos. But when on the duty time, we neither become a law enforcing officers or nor the army commandos. But occasionally we were commandos also. When performing in the duty at the border outpost and all, yes, we have to, as an officer commanding the troops, I have to look after the men and as well as execute the orders of my seniors also. As Alekia has earlier mentioned, even though I started as born as a Brahmin and I started my spiritual practice, I was not that much inclined to, you can say, yoga or meditation, anything like that. And those days I just thinking these are all the practices for Buddhas when I was saying, now I am 50 plus. Okay. So once in 2014, 2012, 13, I met Brahmarshi Patriji in one of his sessions in Delhi. I saw this has some effect. This Anapanasati, which is breathing meditation, has some effect. I start this thing of my self practice like that, and as honored Karthikeyan sir has said, and like when you sit alone and you start concentrating on the breath, the meditation, you will feel what the world is and who you are. That particular knowledge, slowly, still I am learning. And I was able to make my own decisions in a bias, in an unbiased way, so that I can give a good decision of whatever policies which I have been entrusted with and achieve those targets also. And my command was also been accepted. Whoever were asked, Chandra साहब की कंपनी में भेज दो, चंद्र साहब की पलटन में भेज दो, so that we will be happy over there. In the force, we used to say, हम फौजियों के अपार, यानी कि एनुअल कॉन्फिडेंशियल जो होता है साल में एक बार भरते हैं, बट जवान आपकी अपार रोज भरता है. That particular words, when every day when a jawan discusses about his senior officers, there are only two ways to discuss, either in a bad way or in a good way. And only those officers who had left their good thoughts and good deeds with this jawan, they will be remembered even after their career also. I still remember the days when I took Brahmarshi Patriji to Ladakh, and in our academy at Missouri, when he was given a session, live session, and was participated by the troops, they felt this is also a system of practice. And still they are asking, so who is this master? And can we have more sessions from this particular master? I told yes, if the time permits, we can still conduct more classes. And he will give you only, he will just pick your hand like your father and mother had hold your hand to stand up and see the world. He will show you the spiritual path and you have to walk on it, and he will correct, he will take you at each and every moment. He will show you where you are standing and where you went wrong so that you can correct yourself. So the practice of meditation is such a wonderful thing. As Madam Mehra used to say, in the force or in the police or wherever in the central organization, if you sit for quite long hours, nobody will understand. But Sangeeta Madam has shown the way. She has built up the pyramids and she had made the sessions. It is being accepted. Now, in the present scenario of COVID-19 also, I just formed a group of my own, because in the earlier days of first lockdown, we were not allowed to go out or even for only for the duties or for the unavoidable circumstances. We were stepped out of our houses, and I formed a group, and during this type of video conference itself, I discussed with one of my colleagues, one of my friends, hey, can we start some Surya Namaskara practice in the early morning? Only thing is, everybody said yes, but I told, okay, see, I have to go to the office also, so we must start it by around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And by the end of 21 days of our practice, we must achieve the target of 108 Surya Namaskara. This 5 o'clock starting of the thing was little bit okay. So slowly, 1, 2, 3, and at present we have 18 persons in our group, and we are able to achieve around 2 sets of 108 Surya Namaskar. And that itself gives us the whole days of energy, and followed by it some 45-50 minutes of meditation is showing us the way how we can go ahead in each and every day and face whatever we were able to achieve in the day-to-day life. So, Honorable Patriji are a great master and still showing us quite a lot of what you call teaching us quite a lot of lessons to deal with each and every kind of what you call meditation practices, and as well as to deal with each and every kind of situation and to lead a middle path life. Thank you.